y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. I promise y'all, it truly does mean the world to me. But with that being said, what we're talking about these ISO gems in this one, okay, you guys? But before we get started, y'all, I am so excited. I am so humbled and I am so honored. Right before starting this recording, the channel hit a major milestone. We just hit the 3,000 subscriber milestone. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Thanks for everyone who is tapped in. Thanks for everyone who has commented. Thanks for everyone who has liked. Thanks for everyone who has subscribed. Thanks for all of you for finding value in the information. I know I don't do a lot of meme tokens and all of the really hype stuff that's going on right now, but I feel like the stuff that I do bring you guys is substance. It is stuff that is truly going through the long term of the cycle of what crypto is becoming and what distributed ledger asset technologies will be. Will be greatly beneficial, way more than any meme token could ever be to you. Because these ISO gems, these Quants and hederas and XRPs and XLMs and XDCs and your IOTAs, things like Jasmine, things like VeChain, ADA, these real companies that are facilitating and bringing products and conquering real problems that the current system is facing, you can't beat that with a ton of bricks, okay, you guys? I promise you can't. But in this one, we're talking about the Genius Act, y'all. Y'all, last week, it was straight up political theater going on in our Congress, okay, you guys? You had the senators throwing jabs left and right over the Genius Act. You even had Trump weigh in, trying to say, hey, this is a part of my agenda. You got to get it done type situation. Follow me on this, okay, you guys? Now, for any Democrat leader that is out there that is standing in the way of this regulation, you guys truly have to understand what you are doing. You, by blocking any of this, now, I'm not saying not add to, not try to keep everyone safe, not try to keep everyone secure in the realm of Web3, but by trying to block this critical legislation, you are putting America back in the Stone Age. Because if America cannot, regulatory-wise, play with the rest of the world, we are on an island and we are done, okay? Because this is the new financial system we are talking about. Anyway, with that being said, we're hopping into this first video. It is our president, our commander-in-chief, talking to the Senate in regards to the processes of the Genius Act and how important it is to his agenda. Okay, you guys, follow me on this because I'm always going somewhere. This is coming from my boy, Paul Barron from TechPath, and I will be right back.
Many have called me the first crypto president. That's an honor. On day one, we ended the Biden administration's war on crypto. It was an absolute war and very unfair. And we unleashed American innovators to do what you do best, lead the world into new frontiers. We ended Operation Choke Point 2.0. I created the first presidential working group on digital assets. I named a pro-freedom, pro-innovation SEC chair, a great man named Paul Atkins. And we created the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and the United States Digital Asset Stockpile. But we are not done yet. My administration is working with Congress to pass the Genius Act, supporting the creation of dollar-backed stablecoins. And we also will be working to create clear and simple market frameworks that will allow America to dominate the future of crypto and Bitcoin.
Now, you guys heard everything that our commander-in-chief just had to say in regards to the crypto and the distributed ledger asset technology sector and the Genius Act. Follow me on this, you guys, because I'm always going somewhere. This legislation is going to pass, and it's going to pass bipartisanly. America wants to keep its reserve currency as the reserve currency of the world, okay? Follow me, and they know that if they do not pass comprehensive regulation in regards to stablecoin, without that comprehensive regulation, we do not have a legitimized American stablecoin. But things like the EU will, things like China will. Things like Qatar will. Do you really think that America is gonna fall? Just let's step aside and let's just let the rest of the world play out the next 60 years and let us fall into the Stone Ages. Absolutely not. This stuff is coming, you guys. Follow me on this, okay? But here's everybody's favorite person in crypto, our favorite senator. You guys know her, Elizabeth Warren. She's out there slinging and banging with these words on the Senate floor. Come on, Elizabeth, just step aside and let this process be what it's going to be, okay? Follow me on this. I'm always going somewhere, and I'll be right back.
I rise today to talk about the Genius Act and the threat it poses to our financial system, our national security, and our democracy. Now, before I outline the specific dangers posed by this bill, it's worth taking a step back to ask a simple question. Why is the crypto industry so vigorously lobbying for a bill?
30% of Americans are unbanked or underbanked. People who would like access to capital.
I urge my colleagues to vote no on this bill.
Now, y'all just heard Elizabeth Warren. Like, come on. For some of these Democrats who talk about the distributed ledger asset technology sector and crypto or whatever the case may be, I feel like they talk from such a skewed, old school lens, not realizing that this is the next layer of technology. This is the next layer of internet. It's like if we turned a blind eye to AI. If we turn a blind eye to AI, that means we lose two races. We lose the distributed ledger technology asset sector, which is something that is getting ready to move all of the value in the world. I mean, from every type of dollar, whether it's a stable coin or a tokenized deposit, you guys, which are two different things. Follow me on next. I got a video coming out about that. Then you have things like stocks and bonds and derivatives. You have things like the tokenization of land and real estate. You have the tokenization of art and diamonds and fine wine. Anything of value is being pulled onto the blockchain. It is being tokenized. So you have distributed ledger technologies that are literally facilitating the rails of which that tokenization and that value will be ran on, things like a Quant and an XRP, a XLM and hedera. But then you also have AI, which is this new technological realm that was going to essentially displace a lot of workers. Let's just be real. Every industrial revolution displaced workers. Every single one since the beginning of time. What would make the fourth and the fifth industrial revolution any different from the first, the third, and the second? Follow me on that, y'all, for real. Like, it's going to happen. AI is going to take a lot of jobs, everything from fast food workers to things like paralegals, because AI will be able to securely, due to something like a hedera, be able to securely do research and case law, and they can do it in seconds. Like, follow me on this. Like, there's so many sectors like truck driving and forklifts. Like, I've seen the self-driving trucks. I've seen the self-driving forklifts. Like, those are people's jobs that they're pushing. Even things like with the Uber CEO talking about, yeah, for the next 2 or 3 years we'll need them. Yeah, because you know that autonomous vehicles are coming. But what couples that? What gives that source of legitimacy is blockchain. These ISOs and any other compliant, regulatory compliant project out there building in the realm of Web3. Follow me on this. America has to do this legislation because we cannot be left behind. Just period. And they know this. This is all political theater. This is all for the cameras. This is all for pomp and circumstance because they know what needs to be done. But anyway, this more from that whole meeting in regards to the Genius Act on the Senate floor, and I will be right back.
I'm not going to be supporting the legislation. I'll say maybe it's not 98%, but I'll bet you 9 out of 10 Americans agree with me.
Both Democrats and Republican administrations have repeatedly called on Congress to do their job. Regulate this new industry. Do your work. Write legislation and pass a law. I started working on this legislation 3 years ago. This is not a bill written quickly for any reason. but to regulate an industry that needs rules of the road. Congress's failure to act has left the digital asset space as a wild west where American consumers are vulnerable to scams and businesses are desperate for the regulatory clarity. It's unacceptable.
This bill is going to pass with votes from the Democratic Party, even though there was not a single amendment voted on. I object to that as a Democrat. I can't stop it because there's 60 votes for this legislation. That is crazy.
Now, you guys just saw that. You saw some proponents that were for it. You saw some proponents that was against it. Y'all, this thing, but you want to know what? Let's just be honest. The fact that it's even being talked about in the manner that it is being talked about, and for this agenda to be being pushed the way it's being pushed, this has never happened in the realm of Web3, you guys. It has never been a point in time where we have the most powerful leaders in the world codifying law around the assets that we hold, around the technology that will power the next 50, 60, 70 years of global infrastructure and economies. Follow me, because when I say infrastructure, I mean infrastructure. Things like company supply chains, everything from when something was planted versus when it was harvested, versus when it was shipped, versus when it was received, versus when it was actually put onto the store shelves, versus when you actually scanned it and you bought it. Supply chains is being put on blockchain. Things like a V-chain, things like a Quant even have a supply chain. Even things like a hedera has supply chain. You guys, follow me on this. Follow me on what I'm telling you about these ISO gems and how this regulatory shift globally is getting in alignment for a go live date. 2028 plus 2030 will be completely different. Because it is a part of their plan. It is a part of the G20 roadmap. It is a part of the World Economic Forum's roadmap. It is a part of the BRICS nations roadmap. If you really think about it, especially here in America, since 2020, they have been slowly phasing out cash. There are so many places in my city that's cashless now. You can only pay by either tapping or swiping. They don't accept cash. And it's because we are moving from that cash-based society to a digital ledger society. Follow me on this, what I'm telling you about these ISO gems. There's no hype. There's no speculation. They're just putting proof in the pudding. And now we are getting regulation so that this pudding can be served. Follow me on this, okay, you guys, because I'm always going somewhere. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. I truly appreciate y'all tapping in. If you made it all the way through this whole entire video, type in the word stable. Because the way this stable coin is getting ready to shake up the crypto market, nobody is ready for. Until the next time, y'all already know, type in the word stable, and I know y'all made it all the way through. I appreciate y'all. Peace out.